Hey everyone, Steven here, and today I'm looking at the SuperHexa Smart Glasses, which are unlike anything I've used before. Shout out to SuperHexa for sending me a pair of these so I could actually try them out. And with this, I want to cover the specs and then talk about the things that I like and don't like with this product and the different uses with this, because this is such a unique product, at least something like I said that I haven't used. And with this is essentially a pair of glasses or a headset that you can use that records or films what you're doing. So it gives that first person point of view with this. These have an 8 megapixel periscope telephoto camera with a 15x mixed zoom and a 50 megapixel quad Bayer 4-in-1 wide angle main camera. Both are on the left side of the front of the frame. There is an LED shooting indicator, which is attached to the main camera body, which lights up immediately when the eyewear is activated. So this is actually going to take and record photos, but when it does, that light turns on to let others around you know that you're actually being filmed or photographed. Photos or videos can be imported from the glasses to the user's smartphone through an app tailored for the glasses. The connectivity is enabled via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The resolution of the video when importing it to my computer or phone shows that it's 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now these are powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8-core chipset, and it's equipped with a 1020 milliamp battery, which is capable of 100 minutes of continuous video recording or more than 3 hours of intermittent use. These take less than 30 minutes to charge the device from 0 to 80%. When the company reached out to me to review the product, I actually thought this was an AR headset, and the reason for that is because of the display on the right-hand side. This is actually a Sony Micro OLED display, and this has 1800 nits of visible brightness, and it actually shows you what the camera is seeing. So it's not an AR headset in terms of like you could use this like a computer or anything like that. This is really just to show you whatever the camera is seeing so you know what your line of sight is when you're trying to record video or take photos. This display can be adjusted to find your line of sight too. So when you're looking through it, you can shift it around a little bit to find the best position for your eyesight. This is a unique experience and it may take some time to get used to. I definitely feel like a Saiyan with a scouter on with this. The image quality is very good, and adjusting this to your line of sight all work great, but I do find myself checking this often, and it can actually throw off my vision sometimes when I'm going from the object that I'm looking at to then shifting back to trying to see what the display is showing me that the camera is seeing. Inside of the box, you will find the SuperHexa Smart Glasses, you'll have the carrying case, clip-in sunglasses, which are very cool, and this has a charging cable that is USB Type-C, but it also comes with an adapter, so if you don't have a plug-in for that, it will actually just charge with a regular USB port. This product is launching October 31st with a price tag of $399. That is a limited price from what I've been told, so I don't know what the long-term strategy in terms of the pricing is going to be, but if you do want this, you may want to take advantage of that early pricing if this is something that you're going to want to use for content creation, which is going to shift us over now to who this is intended for. So I'll have a link for an interview with the creator of SuperHexa, Shaw Yongfeng. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, where he discusses the intended users with this product, among other topics. This brings us to that very question that I just asked a second ago, which is really who are these intended for? My first assumption, not reading the article or anything like that, the interview, is that this is geared towards content creators, just like GoPros are typically geared towards content creators, especially in extreme sports fields. In the interview, Shaw confirms my notion here, but I wouldn't expect these to be as useful for extreme sports from a durability and stabilization point of view. So from here on out, I'm going to try to have video rolling of me using these glasses for various tasks, and as a content creator, being able to get good B-roll for video intros or just good first-person point of view on products is going to be very helpful. Now, video stabilization isn't on by default, so footage can look quite jarring if you're moving around a lot. To enable this, you need to go to the device settings and the app, which I'm going to talk about the app more in a little bit, and you turn on the wide angle EIS, which is the electronic image stabilization. This works pretty good. Not quite as good as a GoPro, but it definitely helps, and the footage I'm showing right now will be labeled for when it is on or off. So with this, I'm walking in one set of a video and then I'm longboarding in another. So I'm very glad that it's here, and the team has actually assured me that they're working to improve this even more, which is great. So we should have some more software updates that will just make this even better down the road. The downside I have noticed with the current state of it though is that the image isn't quite as good with the image stabilization turned on as compared to when it's turned off. And it also has a harder time staying focused. These of course are things that I think that the team can improve on with just future updates to the device, but when you get it right now, that is something that I have noticed. So it's something to just keep in mind if you're going to be using it. The harder part sometimes can be making sure that with this too, that you're looking straight at something. Because I've noticed I have a tendency to either have this slightly off center on my head, or maybe I'm actually even leaning my head way too much. So right now it seems like the two options to improve this are slowly training yourself to be more aware of your body position and to correct for it in your movements, or you can increase the size of the video in post and then actually center it there. I hope down the road there is potentially a software update that can help this as well, but an update to the hardware on that side of it would actually be to include the camera's ability to actually have a horizontal lock, meaning that it's going to just keep a set position and then move everything around that center position. And I don't know if that's actually hardware. That may be something that they can do with the software, but it does depend on the movement, right? So if I'm going to do something where I'm just moving around a bunch, that's not going to serve a big purpose in that instance because there's just too much movement going on. But going on a walk, a bike ride, maybe I'm just going longboarding, something that is requiring some movement, but again, it's not like an extreme sport, I would like to lock that in. Or even in certain instances where I'm walking around or something like that and I just want it a little more smooth for that movement, I think that would be something that would definitely help with this, because some of the footage I've looked at, it looks really, really smooth, and then some of it's a little bit too jarring. Again, you can adjust these things in post, but to integrate it into the headset, I think would be better, because one of the things that you have to do with this is you can't just directly plug this into your computer and then pull all of the videos off of that. It actually has to connect to the app in your phone. You have to download it to your phone, and you can either edit it on that, or if you want to do it on the computer for some of these things like stabilizing it in post, you're going to then need to download it off of your phone to your computer and then do it there. And I believe this is actually something that they added via a software update because of the response from the people that have been flighting this device. So awesome to see that the team is responding to the requests with this. With that being said, it works decent. I do wish you still had more control over it and that you could actually increase it if you wanted to. And again, the horizontal lock like I was talking about a second ago. Talking about the app now, I've been flight testing this, but SuperHexa has told me the final app is the same as what I've been testing in terms of the setup and aesthetics. It's basically done, but for those of us testing the product, we are providing feedback to the team so they can address any issues via software updates for the final launch. The app itself is clean and simple, making it easy to use. Right now I have video of me using the app, and one of the things I want to highlight is how the app prompts you to download these new videos once it's connected, and then it notices that there are these new videos. That's what it's wanting you to record. So it downloads these videos to the app, and then you can actually download those to your phone. This process is very quick considering the length of some of these videos I recorded, and I like seeing that. It's not something that you're going to be hanging out a long time just waiting for this to process. The headset has 32 gigs of storage on it, and I've seen various numbers on the amount of video you can get out of that 32 gigs with the resolution being 1080p at 30 frames per second, but my general calculation here is that it's roughly 4 to 5 hours, which I think is pretty solid. The downside here is it is a lower resolution, especially considering almost all phones shoot 4K now, and a GoPro is 5.3K. I have watched some YouTube videos showing that 4K doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to content because of how YouTube compresses the file, so I don't know that 4K is 100% necessary here, and if you're savvy with your editing software skills, you'll actually be able to improve the quality with that. The video I've been showcasing from my recordings though is raw footage, so no editing here. So it does look a little bit grainy to me, especially in darker settings. But like I said, if you do have good skills with Adobe Premiere Pro or whatever editing software you use, you can improve this. This does have time caps as well, so you can set this to 5, 10, or 30 minutes where it will record up until that point and then it will turn off. You can't go beyond that though, unfortunately. This does have a white light that flashes when recording to let others know around you the camera is on, which is for privacy reasons here in the USA. I like the notion of notifying others around that you have a camera on them, because that's just something where maybe they don't want to be in camera, right? Depending on what it is. But I have also noticed that in darker environments, this actually shows up in video. So this doesn't have the best low light quality, so I don't know how many people are going to use it in that situation. But if you do, you may see that light pop up. Now for recording a sunrise or a sunset, this is going to be great, but for like pure nighttime, this is where this thing's gonna struggle. For the daytime though, these do come with polarized lenses, which is a nice touch, and the glasses actually just clip into the center. It's easy to take out, it's easy to put in. And in terms of the fit with the headset here, it feels really good. These don't weigh a ton. They're about 100 grams. So a little bit more than a traditional pair of sunglasses, but it doesn't feel like a huge increase over those. So I think most people will be able to comfortably wear these for 30 to 60 minutes while recording various activities without any issues. Last two things I want to cover, these do have microphones with them. They're pretty decent, so I do want to do a test for that really quick. I'm not going to be talking to anybody just because nobody I know wants to be in a recording like this, but if you were doing an interview, that may be something that you could actually use these with, which is pretty awesome. But let's do that sound test really quick. I'm just going to be talking. I'll have some video running as well, so at least there's something external to me that this can pick up on as well. This also has dual mic noise reduction, so it has two microphones with it, but you can turn the dual mic noise reduction on in the settings if you're only going to be talking to yourself, or leave it off if you're going to be doing something like an interview with somebody. All right, so this is going to be with the dual noise mic reduction turned on. I have the computer in front of me. This is actually me editing the video right now, and I'm gonna play traffic noise off to the side here. I tried doing it with voice, but what I noticed is it's kind of highlighting the voice, where I'm thinking the noise reduction really has more to do with ambient noise around you. I'm going to shift this to the other side. Let's see what it does with this on this other side here. And so hopefully it's keeping my voice really, really clear while trying to eliminate the sound. And you can see I'm just literally watching a traffic video right now. But let's go ahead and turn this off now, and then we will see how it performs with the dual noise mic reduction turned off. All right, so this is with it turned off. Let's turn the YouTube video back on. So again, this is just traffic. So we'll see what the distance is. I'm holding this probably 2 feet away from me. I'm just trying to create that same level of noise I may hear if I was, for instance, going on a walk. We'll shift this to the other side now. And so if I'm outside and there is ambient noise around me, how much does it reduce that noise so you can still hear my voice very clear? And again, what's the difference between this turned on and off? So hopefully this gives a good example of what that would sound like with, like I said, it enabled or it turned off. So the noise reduction does a pretty decent job. It doesn't catch everything. I notice every now and then a little bit we get through, but I'm assuming it's just trying to cut down on certain frequencies with that. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with how it performs. So I think if you're outside, you're trying to vlog or anything like that, and you do want to reduce that ambient noise around you, it will do a pretty good job with that. If you turn it off though, you're probably going to pick up and hear everything. So it's probably going to sound pretty chaotic. So just keep that in mind. And the last thing here is the camera function. So just taking pictures with this. So I'm going to actually test this. I'll show an image, right? We'll take a picture outside in front of my house of the woods, but I'll show it where it's just at 0 in terms of the zoom. And then we'll do 5, 10, and this maxes out at 15x, and I'll showcase that as well. So that'll be popping up as I'm actually talking about it. It's definitely decent when it's not zoomed in. It's cool that it can zoom all the way in, but again, you start to get pretty grainy once you go to the 15x with this. but the fact that it zooms in that far is pretty awesome. So wrapping this video up now, overall I really like the SuperHexa glasses as a niche product that won't replace a GoPro or certain other vlogging cameras, but this is one to use amongst those other ones as a great way to get first person footage for various things such as intro B-roll, interviews, or even cinematic footage for short story videos where you do want that first person point of view. I can't wait to see what other content creators do with this because I think there's a lot of potential just on that side of it. The other side here is being able to take photos, which I did just talk about that just a second ago. It's not something I would personally use this feature a lot, but the fact that it's there is nice because in the moment, you don't want to necessarily mess with pulling out your phone. You already have these on. You could just quickly just tap the button, hit that camera, and then you would take the photo from your point of view, which is pretty cool to see. Down the line, I would like to see the evolution of this product as well in the next couple years, right? Maybe we get that increase in storage capacity. So we're getting maybe options with that 64, 128 gigs, the ability to shoot 4K if we want it, the ability to essentially do that horizontal lock like I was telling about, or more stabilization, or adjust the video angle potentially with that. So lots of potential down the road, which gets me excited about this product as well is where does it lead and the different things that we're going to see coming up. And so I'm going to follow SuperHexa along that. I hope we see new iterations of this down the road, see these improvements. Part of this can be done on the software side as well, and I know that they're going to be doing that. So just with these, to see those improvements over time is going to be great. So yeah, it's a niche product, but for those that are going to use this, I think they're going to have a lot of fun with it and the different things that they can create with it, like I said, which just gets me really excited to see what other content creators do with this product. So that's going to be it for this one. I'll have a link for the SuperHexa in the description if you want to pick one up. If you do plan on getting one, let me know what your intended use will be, as I'm very curious about what other people plan to do with this. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.